In the darkest corners of the cosmos, our cameras have captured more than stars and dust. Hidden in the static, buried in forgotten footage, are shapes, movements, life forms that defy every law we know. In this countdown, we'll journey from the least to the most terrifying and bizarre encounters ever filmed beyond Earth. Number 10. We begin this list with a vision from the farthest reaches of space. Through the eye of the James Webb Telescope, a monstrous shape emerges in the void, a galaxy unlike anything we've seen before. It drifts across the darkness, trailing colossal, glowing tentacles, each one a cradle for countless newborn stars. Astronomers call it the jellyfish galaxy, a cosmic giant caught in the act of being torn apart. As it hurtles through a sea of superheated plasma, its own gas is ripped away, leaving behind a shimmering wake that stretches for tens of thousands of light years. It's a scene of both creation and destruction, a dying galaxy scattering pieces of itself into the abyss, a ghostly creature of unimaginable scale, floating in eternal darkness. Number 9. Captured entirely by accident, this next image was never meant to reveal what it did. On August 18th, during a solar eclipse over Smith's Ferry, Idaho, a photographer pointed his camera toward the Milky Way. 13 seconds of exposure, and something appeared. When the image was reviewed days later, the stars were not alone. In the darkness floated a shape, luminous, twisted, almost human, yet with elongated tentacle-like forms reaching into the void. No light came from the ground. No insects crossed the lens. Whatever it was, it moved fast enough to leave a faint, curling trail across the frame. The witness compared it to a human with tentacles, drifting silently in the black. Some see it as a trick of light, others as something alive, roaming far above our world. In either case, this is one encounter that blurs the line between science and nightmare. Number 8. It began as just another image from NASA's Curiosity rover, a snapshot of the barren Martian surface. But hidden in the jagged rocks, the internet saw something else. The photo went viral, headlines screaming about a giant crab on Mars. In the shadows of a rocky outcrop, a shape seems to cling to the cliff. Legs splayed, body hunched, like some alien predator frozen mid-crawl. Scientists called it pareidolia, our brain's instinct to see familiar shapes where none exist. But the image sparked a storm of speculation. Ancient life, alien hunters, the remnants of a forgotten Martian ecosystem, whether just a trick of light and stone or something more. The Martian crab became one of the red planet's most unsettling mysteries, a creature that may only exist in our minds, yet still haunts the imagination. Number 7. Amid the lifeless rocks of Mars, NASA's Curiosity rover captured an image that set off a firestorm of speculation. Tucked in the shadows between jagged stone, something appears to be watching. To UFO hunters, it was a mysterious creature, crouched low as if frozen mid-move. Its form, thin, angular, almost insect-like, seemed too deliberate to be just a random shape. To skeptics, it was nothing more than pareidolia, our mind's trick of finding patterns where none exist. But the photo emerged alongside decades of theories that Mars was once alive, with rivers, oceans, and an atmosphere rich in oxygen. If life thrived here millions of years ago, could something still be lurking in its barren deserts today? Whether mere rock or the silhouette of something alien, the Martian stalker remains one of the most unsettling mysteries carved into the red planet's endless silence. Number 6. July 16th. The European Space Agency's solar orbiter is capturing some of the most detailed images of our star ever taken. Vast waves of plasma swirl across the surface, glowing in molten gold. But then, Among the chaos, something strange appears. A small, dark speck drifts into view. Its outline, rounded body, stubby limbs, is disturbingly familiar. To the trained eyes of a few viewers, it looked exactly like a tardigrade, one of Earth's most indestructible creatures. These so-called water bears are microscopic survivors, capable of withstanding crushing pressure, lethal radiation, freezing cold, and even the vacuum of space. The thought alone was unsettling. A tardigrade crawling across the surface of the sun, enduring temperatures of over 5,000 degrees Celsius. The idea spread quickly, igniting a storm of jokes and uneasy fascination. Scientists soon stepped in with an explanation. It wasn't alive at all, but an image artifact, a flaw in the data that just happened to take that chilling shape. And yet, the image remains burned into memory. Because if a living thing could survive there, the limits of life as we know it might be far more terrifying and far stranger than we ever imagined. Number 5. Captured by NASA's Opportunity rover, the image appears ordinary at first. Endless fields of rust-colored dust and scattered rocks. But there, on the horizon, something breaks the monotony. A dark figure, low to the ground, moving on 4 legs. It doesn't match the surrounding terrain. Its outline is too defined, its posture too deliberate. Some have compared it to a large rodent, others to a small feline-like predator, silently crossing the Martian desert. NASA has not offered an official explanation beyond the possibility of an oddly shaped rock and a trick of perspective. But in the minds of many, the idea lingers. If a creature can walk here, it means Mars might not be as lifeless as we've been told. From this point forward, the encounters grow stranger and far more unsettling. Number 4. The Martian skies are supposed to be empty, but one image from a NASA rover challenged that belief. Against the pale horizon, a dark shape cuts across the sky. Not a dust devil, not a drifting rock, but something with the unmistakable outline of wings. Conspiracy theorists seized on the image instantly. To them, it was proof of a flying creature on Mars, a bird, a bat, even a pterosaur-like predator gliding through the thin Martian air. The frame spread online, amassing hundreds of thousands of views and igniting fierce debate. Skeptics called it a photographic glitch, a speck on the lens. Others went further, suggesting the rovers aren't on Mars at all, but in some desert here on Earth, and that what we're seeing is just a hawk caught mid-flight. But for those who look closely, the symmetry of the wings and the way the shape seems to cut against the distant hills is enough to stir unease. Because if something is flying over the red planet, it means we might not be the first to explore it. Number 3. Space is supposed to be empty, but not for astronaut Franklin Story Musgrave. On 2 separate missions, he claims to have seen something impossible, an 8-foot-long, snake-like creature, pale and rubbery, drifting silently through the void. It moved with fluid grace, undulating as if alive, trailing alongside the shuttle for minutes at a time. Musgrave, a decorated astronaut, physician, and engineer with 6 spaceflights under his belt, has never denied what he saw. And the more time he spent in orbit, he said, the more strange things appeared, things that convinced him we are not alone. The space serpent isn't an isolated report. In recent years, passengers aboard commercial flights and even other astronauts have captured video of long, dark shapes twisting high above Earth's atmosphere, some with tails, others with tentacle-like appendages. Skeptics call them debris or optical illusions. But for those who have seen them firsthand, the idea that something alive could roam between the stars is not just possible. It's certain. And if these creatures truly exist, they might have been watching us for far longer than we've been watching them. Number 2. In July 2015, NASA's New Horizons probe made history, flying past Pluto for the very first time. Among the icy plains and fractured mountains, one image stood out. a lone, dark shape leaving a trail across the frozen expanse of Sputnik Planum. From above, it looked eerily like a massive snail, crawling slowly over a landscape carved from nitrogen ice. The shell, a mound of dirty water ice, appeared to be drifting, or perhaps moving. NASA's explanation was simple. Blocks of ice can float in denser nitrogen, carried along over millions of years by Pluto's slow, churning interior heat. A process like a cosmic lava lamp. But to many who saw the image, the resemblance was too perfect. The idea of something alive, inching its way across a world billions of miles away, was impossible to ignore. Whether it's a geological oddity or something far stranger, the so-called snail of Pluto is a reminder that even the most distant frozen worlds can still spark the most unsettling questions. Number 1. And now, we reach the most disturbing footage in this entire list. The year is 1987. A grainy, black and white aerial recording surfaces, allegedly captured on the surface of an unidentified planet. At first, the terrain is empty, lifeless, but then it moves. Emerging from the shadows, a figure takes shape, the twisted fusion of two worlds, the front half unmistakably humanoid, the rear a sprawling mass of arachnid limbs. It lurches forward with uneven steps, its body swaying unnaturally from side to side, as if struggling against the pull of the planet itself. The footage is brief, but enough to leave a lasting chill. No one knows who filmed it, or how it ended up in circulation. Some claim it was part of a classified mission. Others believe it's evidence of a life form that should not exist. A predator perfectly adapted to a world we've never seen. Real or fabricated, one truth remains. Once you've seen this creature walk across the alien dust, you'll never forget the way it moved, or the feeling that it might still be out there, waiting.